Okay, now, whew, this is the big moment. Welcome to Prattski Learns to Paint, episode 4, and I've got my crawler minions primed from the game Myth. Got 8 of them here, and I think I'm ready to go. So here's just a black primer on there, spray primer. And these guys really are going to be brown mostly, and with some, I think, potentially dry brushed highlighted areas on their chest and claws. And we'll see. But I think the plan here, at least, is to start with just a brown base, and I've got this Mornfang brown color. It seems like it should be pretty good, but I'm curious, what it looks like when it dries. But this right here is the first time I'll have ever painted a mini. So I'm excited. I'm nervous a little bit too. And I realized too that a lot of people, put some sort of putty or something like this and attach it to something. I don't have any of that yet. We'll see how this goes. I'm not painting the base, so I think we should mostly be okay, but let's see. I shook this up really well. Oh, there we go. And at this point, I'm not sure if this dries lighter color or dries darker or about the same. I have no idea. But, oh yeah, and so also just a little word before I get started. So Rob Oren, suggested, putting a primer on first, and usually with monsters, often going with a darker color. I think darker is a little bit more forgiving as well. And then you got to put the base coat on there. So I'm thinking about putting on this brown base coat, and then he's also supposed to have a little bit of red in the lower part of his face. Maybe trying to lightly fade some red in here, and then giving the whole thing a wash, and then dry brushing afterwards. It's kind of the process that he seemed to kind of unpack a little bit, and so we're gonna give that a try. So, but first, our next step is to get this guy painted with a base coat. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So I'm using this brush here. It's, seems like a decent size. It's not a wider flat brush, which I actually don't think makes much sense on this guy because of how small he is. And there's not a lot of flat surfaces. So, I don't know if this is the best idea or not, but that's what we're going to give it a try. Oh man, here we go. Okay. Oh, cool. So I don't know how many coats you usually do, or if you just try to do one, or what, but I think you just want to get it even, at least. Does look pretty cool. It's not so bad so far. So I think I'm just going to try to cover everything. That's got pretty thick inside there. I wonder if I need to kind of thin that out a little bit. I'll try to. I gotta brush needs to get a little bit less wet. To get the paint out. I guess maybe a lesson learned when you're doing kind of deep spaces like that. Try not to have a too wet of a brush. I don't know. Okay. Well, this seems like about the right kind of brown. That's encouraging. Oh, that's pretty wet. All right. Makes me wonder how slow I am compared to other people. Not that I care at this point. I just want to make it look right. Well, I'm not live streaming or anything, but how am I doing so far? Oh, well, might help if I keep it in the frame. Okay. I suppose this could be nice, you know, if you don't have much going on for the evening and put on like an audio book or something. I could get into this. Sorry, I'm so quiet, just trying to concentrate and think about what I'm doing here. It's new territory. You know what, I'm going to just keep my current grip here and then paint everything I can. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how thick I should be putting it on. You know, thick enough just to get an even coat, or thicker, or thinner. Try not to get the base, because I kind of digging the black base. To be honest, at this point, I don't think, not sure that I'm ready to start working on complicated basing yet. I think I just need to get this painting thing figured out first. Okay, so this is one thing I'm noticing is that details with the model, like lines from, you know, whether it be from a sprue or whatever, seems like it's going to really kind of be highlighted much more once you get paint on it. So I can see the importance of making sure that the models are nice and clean being a bigger deal than I thought. Okay, yeah, that like looks pretty good, I think. So I did a count. I don't know if I showed this on an earlier video or not, but I currently have between Kingdom Death and Shadows of Brimstone and Myth and Descent, I think I have about 470 models or so that are built. And I've got plenty more unbuilt sprues for Shadows of Brimstone. And I've got supposedly another couple hundred or so, maybe even more, minis coming for Myth sometime next summer. So, I mean, if this is taking me this long to get a single coat, base coat on one of these things, how long would it take to paint that many minis? Goodness. Though I think Rob Oren had mentioned that he's so far this year like painted like 10,000. I might be, I have the wrong number in my head, but it was some sort of crazy number that I thought, like, how's that even possible? Okay, so shifting sides here. Okay, yeah, I could see how getting some putty to hold this would be helpful. Where was I holding on to it last? Okay, there we go. I keep finding spots that I've already gone over that seem like they could use a touch-up. I don't know if it's a good idea to do that or not, or if it just doesn't matter. Got some crack or something right there. Why does that look that way? There we go. Okay, we're getting there. I did wonder at first if this brown was going to be too dark when I was just looking at it in the bottle, but I don't think it's going to be too dark at all. I think this is right on for what I was thinking in my head, at least. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over, I suppose, some of the earlier areas, make sure I didn't miss any spots like that. Get some of the spots that I can see a lot of black through it. Okay, I think I got him fully cut. Well, the underside of that. Oh, and right there too. Okay. You know what? I gotta not be like a perfectionist. I don't think that's gonna help me. I think it's gonna slow me down big time. Okay. Well, I think I need to call this one good. He seems pretty well coated all around. What do you think? Not bad? Is that? Oh, no, that's painted in there. Okay, one down. Hundreds to go. Oh man, like, oh, just. Whew. Well, let's keep going. Let's do another one. Yeah, man, I'm liking that. That's cool. Even okay, so I mean these went from gray, all gray, to primed black. And even primed black, they look way cooler. But now that's got brown with a separate black base to kind of make it pop. And even that looks cooler. That, even if I just left it at that, I would say, okay, this is a win. This is already going to be more fun to play with. But man, if I can actually make these different pus sacs green and get some just cool, different tones and shades from the wash, man, I'm really curious how we can make these things look. And especially if a guy like me who hasn't really ever done any painting like this before, that's really cool. This is going to be potentially far more accessible of a hobby than I expected. So, all right, well, let's dive into number 2. I should just get it really wet. Pretty thick there. Oh yeah. I suppose you got to be careful because if there are textures, like, let's see. Yeah, you see the lines on his head? I suppose it can be easy to put too much paint on there and then kind of fill up those lines. That's interesting. So I would say my review on this process so far is definitely positive. I've never done this before, and I'm already liking it, and I'm already liking the result. Okay, so here's where I'm doing something different. So I put on a lot of paint last time, and when I put it in here, it kind of filled up the space and took all that definition in the mouth away. So I kept my brush more dry, and voila, we've got all that detail in the mouth. Still good to go. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm kind of running out of paint on my little lip here. I don't know if it's best to like shake it up and get some more, or just dip my brush deeper in there. I guess it's these little nuanced techniques and things that you can do that I just have no idea. So we'll dip it in, get a bunch on there, kind of give it an initial spread out, and then fine tune it. I'm really pumped about this brown. Okay, so we were getting some thick paint in those texture lines on the back of his head here. So I'm trying to get those back out. That's better. Get his armpit. Sorry if it tickles. I suppose if you're watching, this might be the most boring, quiet painting video you've ever seen. Sorry about that. I suppose you're free to just close the video if you want. Otherwise, if you got any ideas or feedback on what I'm doing so far, I would love to hear it, because I will be the first to say that I really don't know what I'm doing. Well, I know that I'm painting, but in terms of... Oh crap, got some on the base. Okay, so I'm going to put my brush down for just a sec. See if I can paper towel this off. Got most of it. There's still a little lingering bit on there. It's not perfect, but I suppose I can always touch it up with a little bit of black paint or something. Ah, but if the black paint doesn't match the primer color, what's that going to look like? Okay, so lesson learned, be careful, go slow on these underparts here. Okay, not bad. Oh, what was I saying? I think I was trying to solicit some feedback. If, oh yeah, paint was too thick on his back there to, gotta get those textures to stay. Because I believe that when you are dry brushing, it's those textures that really will make that difference, and what will catch that lighter highlighted color that you're trying to get on there, I think. Just remember, this is not an instructional video by any means. This is I'm a total noob. Watch how this goes. Oh, that's close underneath there. Oh, I got some more brown on that base. That's just so close. It's almost like I need a second, more thin brush for those parts or something. Okay, so shift and grip. Okay. Well, let's do his front first. So I think I probably already said it in my first episode on this, but just want to highlight again that I was really not ever interested in painting. My mentality was, well, it doesn't matter what color they are. The game still plays exactly the same. What's the difference? What's the big deal? It's certainly not worth the time to individually paint every figure. No way. But, and also very important is that I assumed that if I did paint, given my zero experience in doing this, that it was basically guaranteed to look awful. And I thought, because I've seen some really, really bad painting. And so I thought, you know what, if I just leave it gray, there's no way to say, wow, that looks so bad. It's just a model, just gray. So I thought that I would never paint, and I would just leave it. But a weekend or two ago, Rob Oren and his friend Tina the board gamer. Crap, I kind of forgot her official title. But they had, Tina was visiting with Rob. They were playing some games together. They went to Huracan in Florida. And Tina had never painted before. And Rob and Tina did 2 live streams where he was walking Tina through how to paint. And I thought, well, this should be interesting, because that's about the same boat that I would be in. And they painted a couple of dragons. Tina was just kind of following along. And my goodness, it looked good. I mean, they primed it, they painted it green, they did a wash on it, then they did some dry brushing. I mean, nothing that looked too challenging, and it just looked amazing. And that was really kind of the turning point for me, where I thought, you know what? I could definitely see myself enjoying sitting here and painting these little models and, putting on an audiobook and listening to it for a while. I think that'd be really relaxing, something fun to do. I mean, way better than watching TV or something. So I decided to give it a shot. And I'll definitely dedicate all of the credit and stuff for everything that I needed, and kind of direction of what I'm doing here to Rob. So Rob, if you're listening, thanks, man. That was a huge encouragement to me to do this, and I'm just super excited to use your Painting 101 videos and really try to see what we can do here. Color my world, I think, is, as you'd say. All right, let's do a third. See how we can, maybe we can try to speed up the process a little bit. Okay. Oh, interesting. This model's mouth is just not in great shape. It's like didn't quite work right in the mold or something. Still got it. Gotta remove some of the excess paint, get those lines just showing up again. Cool. I got a lot of paint buildup in the middle of the brush here. Try to empty some of that out. There we go. Yeah, this is really cool. And I'll tell you what, too. If I can do this, I feel like anybody can do this. Because I have never painted anything before. I think it's just all about being willing to try it and learn as you go, but also picking some good resources, you know, just coming prepared with some initial knowledge on what to do and some of the techniques to really, yeah, like the whole concept of the dry brush. I got like a chunk of something on there. The dry brushing and the washes, that was something that blew my mind, because I really kind of thought that painting was all about literally just doing this and putting color on and then putting a different color on. I didn't know that there were techniques like dry brushing that I could do so much with so little effort. I mean, it's calculated effort, but I was blown away watching what was happening during that when they did the wash on it and then did the dry brush. That was just like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look hard. It's like you just have to know that technique exists and have the right tools and a little bit of know-how, which just comes from, you know, watching somebody else, and you can do a lot. Okay, I do feel like this is speeding up just a tad. I think I'm getting a little bit like less skeptical about the process or something. Maybe just a little bit of confidence that, you know, it's not that hard. We're just sticking some brown on here. It's not too bad. I think that whole side's looking pretty good. A little bit of black left up there. Okay. All right. Next part. I almost feel like I should have timed how long it took to do that first figure. Because this at least is giving me the feeling that it's going faster. Excuse me. I see a spot. Fix that. Okay. Yeah, this is fun stuff. I mean, it's wow, it's low key, of course. It's not like I'm White River rafting or something, but oh man, I got a little bit of brown on the base there. It's all right. It's all right. We keep moving on. Make sure the textures on his back aren't filled in with paint. Some of them are a little bit. Okay. Oh man, there's like hardly any space underneath there. I suppose since there isn't much space, the importance of it needing to be painted probably is kind of on the lower side, huh? Okay. All right. Three down. Oh man, they're looking so cool. This is really awesome. All right, so I suppose I'll do one more because that'll even it out. I don't need to do all these on camera because I don't think really much is going to change in terms of what I'm doing here, my technique or anything. This guy's a little bit rougher. Got a lot more texture on his body. Crap. Not used to doing painting, period, let alone painting on camera. Making sure it stays in the view here. So my questions, yes, if anybody happens to watch this, is, how's my brush choice? Is there a better brush that you would have chosen to use instead of what I'm using here? Both, I guess, shape and size. And then how about technique? Is there anything that I could or should change with how I'm painting this guy up? Just with the base coat here. I'd love to hear if you have a good, if you got a good suggestion too for how to attach this thing to something so that I can paint him a little bit more easily. I can probably Google it pretty easily, but if there's like a certain type of putty or clay or something like that you recommend for adhering these things temporarily to some sort of like, I don't know, twist off soda cap or something like that. I'm definitely interested. Off it again. Yeah, I mean, just any thoughts that you have. Not that I'm looking for praise. I'm not looking for praise at all. But if there's something that I'm doing right, even, I guess, that would be decent to hear, just to kind of reinforce any sort of good practices. If I happen to have gotten lucky and just naturally adopted a good practice. I mean, it is just taking a brush, though, and putting some color on some plastic, so, I don't know how much there is to say on that, but you never know. So yeah, any feedback, I would love it, because this is totally a learning process for me, and perhaps other people who decide that they might want to try painting and see how a total new person at it, what their process was like. Be a great place to have some comments on the video too, to kind of read through. Okay. Got some paint a little thick in there. Try to get some of that out. Okay, I think I got it. Out. Okay, so I'm going to switch my grip here, but first check to see that I've done everything I need to on this side. You know what, I'm going to do that leg. Yeah, like I can tell I'm not super happy with his chest, but I have to remember that actually the mold itself was not great when I first started painting anyway. So there's not much I can do about that. Okay, so we're almost done with number 4. And the video has been going for 43 minutes. Okay, yep, I forgot to get under there. Cool. Almost done. All right, one last dip in there, just a little bit on the tip. Well, that might be it right there. think I'm happy with it. Okay, all right. Stop the perfectionist. Oh, there's a spot right there. All right, awesome. Well, there we have it. First 4 models base coated here. And yeah, I suppose that took me about 10 minutes per figure there. That seems slow, but I don't know. Maybe it's slow, maybe it's not. I'm sure it could be sped up, but I don't know. Hey, this is a new experience. That's why I'm doing these videos. I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I will probably continue to paint the rest of these for off camera. And then the next step after this base coat, well, okay, so here's what I got to decide. I got to decide, do I do a wash on these right after the base coat and then do some dry brushing? Or, because, yeah, I mean, the other things that are going on here is I do want to put some kind of red blend on his face. So in the pictures, it's kind of redder right here, and then it eases up more, kind of as a gradient to brown. I've heard that doing gradients or fades like that is very difficult. So, you know, I don't know if I should even attempt it or not. I should just keep it simple and do brown, and then do a wash, and then do some dry brushing, and then paint these green. Or do I paint these green next and then wash it and then dry brush? I don't know. It's those things I may just have to experiment with and see how it goes. But I really don't know what the best way to do it, because I've never done it. But we'll see. This has been really fun. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna watch some more of Rob's videos and see if I can find a better answer on what to do next. So we will see you in the next episode.